All right, ladies. So the good news is this video should be a lot shorter than the first one because, as you've noticed, we only have two new inbounds plays to run against zone defense. Box one will work against the zone, so we might, again, use it sometimes, particularly at the beginning of the game to figure out, what they're in, and if it's working, we can keep using it. But we have two inbounds plays that are designed to work against the zone. So the first one is called box out. All right. In box out, obviously our inbounder here needs to not only be someone who makes good decisions, but also needs to be a good shooter. And, anybody I've listed as a potential inbounder could play this role quite easy. Although if someone's hot, we might change this up just to take advantage of that. Our four needs to be somebody who's really good at sealing someone off and sort of getting good position. And so, be thinking about that as well. So the way box out works is when the ball is handed to the inbounder, four is just going to seal their guys. So they're going to box them in towards the basket, ask for the ball away from the defender. So we get just this little bounce pass here. Okay. And then when the ball is entered, the one is going to sneak around and have just this nice open shot. And by the way, if the ball goes there and this defender runs out at the one, they're going to be able to dump it in here, hopefully, for a nice little layup from the four. So this play works a lot, like Coach Mike said, for whatever reason, because people fall asleep in the 2-3 zone. Now, if we call box out and four is pinning and doesn't get the ball, then the three can still flash here and we'll still run it. We'll enter here. Our inbounder can still pop in. I'm going to encourage the three to remember to make a ball fake and then come back to this guy to shift the zone. The three could also enter the ball right here, depending on where the defense shifts. And I also want to mention that as the play is developing, once the three flashes out there, the two will do the same and the five will do the same. So we'll have this nice ability to kind of bing, 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 move the ball around and kind of keep it hot. Because again, we are expecting that this team is in a zone. So we'll set that up for that kind of good crisp pass around the outside. All right. So box out, pretty simple, doesn't have a lot of rules, very effective, especially again, if people are falling asleep in that 2-3 zone. The second zone, the second inbounds play we have that is effective against a zone is something called special. I do not like to overuse special, although we'll probably practice it in games early in the season. I like to kind of save it for when we really need a bucket because it usually works and it surprises people. But again, it's something we have to get some game reps, so we'll definitely use it. So the way that special works, it's the only inbounds play we have that we're not going to set up in a box. All right. So we're going to bring our shooter down here. So we're almost like three across down here. So we have our two forwards and our shooter kind of almost three across. Sometimes this guy can be a little behind, and that's fine. Our other guard, this is really important. And I think I misspoke in practice today, so I want to clarify. I don't want you here. This shouldn't look like a triangle. I really need our other guard to lean ball side because one of the things that has to happen is we have to keep this defender busy. When you were defending it, I remember Haley halfway over here like, what do I do? That's exactly what we want. We want to kind of isolate this person so she doesn't have a job and really keep this other guard busy. And the reason we want to do that is here's how special works. When the ball is handed to the inbounder, our guard, needs to come to the corner, kind of the short-ish corner. Can't be all the way out here, but it can't be too close because we'll miss our layup. So somewhere, let's little 10-footer, okay? And you got to be asking for the ball, okay? And this is our shooter, and we've run some other plays hopefully at this point. So when the two starts asking for the ball, this defender has no choice but to come out here. And by the way, if she doesn't, then the first time – I think I just deleted her. The first time we run special, then we'll just pass it here and our shooter will shoot. And then they'll be like, oh no. And then the next time we run special, it's really going to work. Because what we need to do is the two needs to make enough of a scene so that this person has to come out and play her. And we don't want this person to play her. And that's why the three is so important. You've got to make yourself look like an option here, even though you're kind of not an option technically, unless you're wide open. So the two is hopefully drawing this defender out. As that's happening, our four has the most critical role. She is going to pin this defender. So she's going to just like we do in box one, she's going to pin her. She's going to ask for the ball. By the way, if we can enter it to the four, we will. But the reason we're doing this is the four is going to pin this guy. So she really can't go anywhere. And our five's just going to scoot into this little hole. Okay, so we're making this little hole for a layup from our 5. So just a quick review. The 2's job is to pull our guy all the way out. So the 2 makes a scene, pulling this guy out. As that's happening, the 4 really pins this defender in, so the 5 can scoot in, for a nice layup. And obviously, if it's on this side of the court, then I think we had Soph on one of the teams coming in for that nice left-handed layup. Obviously, we can run it on either side. And depending on our personnel, we should all be able to make that right and left-handed layup anyway. So our zone offenses against a zone defense on our inbounds plays are box out and special. So there are 5 of them here, but they are very basic rules. They all are designed to teach you how to think about, getting an advantage on an inbounds play. And all of these are components of many inbounds plays you're going to see over your basketball life. And so our hope is that not only do they help us in games, know what each other is doing and get you some open shots, but they also help you, kind of develop your basketball IQ and think about when you have other coaches and they're setting up plays like this, what are they doing this for? What is the goal? Why are we setting it up this way? What are we trying to accomplish? So hopefully you're kind of getting that as well. So again, ask questions if you need to underneath this video. Grab us at the beginning of practice to ask questions, and essentially just be ready to go with these things on Thursday so we can get some good game reps in. Thanks, ladies.